Hello, 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 beautiful strangers, and welcome back to another episode of Analogue, a hate story. When last we left off, we were showing some more documents, especially ones that Mute had found for us, or shown us, rather, and talking with her, and just sort of getting information and getting her thoughts and getting new logs from her. And I believe last time I finished, I said that we were going to bring back Mute and show her more things. Again, I think. I'm not going to swear to that. It's been a few days since I last recorded, and my memory isn't the best. But I think we'll do that. And also, as a quick aside, I'm not drinking wine this time. I'm deviating from my normality, and I have beer. And I don't typically drink beer very much. I don't like most, well, I'm okay with most beer, but I don't genuinely like or enjoy most. And the only one brand, anyway, that I can think of that I actually genuinely enjoy and genuinely like is Guinness. So I have some Guinness Extra Stout with me. Cheers. Tasty. Yeah, let's change the... I think I just pushed the wrong button on my... Yeah, oh well. I accidentally pushed my push to mute instead of the other thing, and it doesn't matter. I know how to type. Kind of. I'm an okay typist. I'm not the most accurate the faster that I type. I find it horribly difficult to type with microphone in front of me. Microphone and pop filter. Kind of hard, in my opinion anyway. What was your voice? Oh, right, nasally. Well, you've seen almost everything about the Smith family now. I'm sort of wondering, what do you think of their fall? God, that's not your voice. I don't remember exactly what voice I gave you. No, whatever. They had it coming. Yeah, fair enough. I don't really blame you for being interested or anything. I know the feeling. It's sort of perversely entertaining to watch great men fall. And anyone could see it coming. It was inevitable after Seng Jung died. Anyway, regardless of whether you think it should have happened or not, it was a pretty terrible thing to happen to what used to be the greatest noble family. And certainly they didn't deserve to be first brought down by the Kim family and murdered by the Kim daughter. Maybe it's... I don't want to say that Seng Jung was lucky. That's not true. If he was around, maybe things would have turned out better. He always had a way of making things perfect. Still, I'd rather he be killed by his own habit than by that girl. He deserved better than what he got, but it would have been even worse if not for that, is, I guess, what I'm saying. I hadn't really thought about it that way before. Really, were he around, that's totally what he'd say, practically. Imagine his voice, even. The drink will inevitably kill me, and women will inevitably kill you, so I'd rather take the one that isn't always bitter. Well, it depends on what you're drinking, I guess, or something like that. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's enough of that. Let's see, what do I want to show you? And I don't know if I can actually do her voice correctly. I've been sick for the past couple of days. Sinus infections are fun, I swear. No, you've already seen these. Was it Block 2 stuff that's pretty new? No. Osojin and Hana is what you showed us. Let's just go through stuff again, and... Did we show her this? I think so. Let's find out. Oh, yes, him. Would you like to know how I feel about Smith Jung Sam? Sure. I don't remember what you said anyway. Then let me be as clear as I possibly can. Fuck that guy. I know I shouldn't say that about a man, not least of all a dead one, but I don't care. He didn't have any respect for the dead either, so as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't deserve any from me. There's nothing more even related to him that you need to see. All he ever did was complain about the main brand to trash the good name of a good man. That's all you need to know. Some intense hatred there from good friend Mute. Let's say good friend. Here comes the fall. I'm gonna guess this is probably the same thing, but let's show her just in case. Yep. Sure. Yep. Give us more points. More points are good. Yes. I'm just very vaguely distracted at the moment. I'm copying stuff from an old an older laptop onto an external hard drive, and I'm copying my 30 gig music folder, and I'm just kind of glancing over every so often to look at it. Let's see, Broken Promise. Which one was this one? Speaker from Cryostation. Sure, let's show you this. So, like, you've talked to her a fair bit, right? What do you think of Shonai? I don't hate her. She's quite fun. Seriously? You can stand her? Did she tell you about the whole mass murder thing, or did she conveniently leave that out? No, she didn't tell me. No, of course not. I'm sure even that awful bitch is ashamed of what she did. Or maybe she just wanted to impress you. I don't think most men are turned on by that kind of lunacy, so I can see why she'd hide that. Probably better if you don't hear it from me, though. I don't think you'd even believe it. Better to ask her yourself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is give you an entire block that's full of nothing but questions for her. It might be a little hard to get the whole story out of her, and if you fake sympathy, she'll probably actually believe you. So there you are, a few questions to give her. Drive the truth out of her, then tell me how crazy you think she is. How fun. Yes, those questions. Copying is finished. So we don't have block 1, 6, or 8. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no 6, no 7, no 8, no 9, no 10. No, I forgot about 7 there. That doesn't really matter. The interesting thing with Mute's question, I'm just going to leave this folder closed. Because I don't want to accidentally trigger something. If you start that, you basically set yourself on the way to the endings, and you can't go... Well, I don't worry about that. We're just not going to touch those right now. Those are for endings, and I guess I could get an ending now, but I don't want to, because it's the most boring ending, and you can get literally at any time, and there's no reason to get it now. Let's see. Let's ask her, I guess, go through all of this Pale Bride stuff, just in case. Yeah, let's just see, because I don't think I showed her any of this. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, you're just gonna say the same thing, aren't you? Where's the one where it talks about her illness or whatever? I can't believe how I don't care what this is. Call me that. No. If there's one of these, and I don't remember which one it is, that says that, you know, sick daughter and that whole thing. No targetability, purpose. Sure, let's show you this one and see what you think. Yep, okay. She didn't, yeah. Alright, I get it. I wish there was, I know this is like a 9-year-old game at this point, but still I wish there was a thing that said what logs you showed to which AI. This one here. What do you think about this? Same thing. Yep, thanks, awesome, great, yep, totally. Drinky. Yes, that wasn't even written by her. You could have at least told me something about the person that wrote it or something. I don't know. Is this the one that... Yeah, it is. Let's see. Let's show her some of these, because I think these are the ones that, Oh, I didn't really know anything about Kim Young-suk. I only knew about men who are actually of some importance. I don't think I can help you there, sorry. That's kind of a shitty thing to say. Okay. Kim Jong-soo. Let's show you this one then. Oh, I don't know. Same. Okay. Okay. You could have at least told something. Oh well. Well, I have Mute's questions. There's still these that are blank as well. I don't remember if I've shown these to mute or not. So, you want to talk about Queen Ryu Jihua, huh? She was kind of more than just my queen. Well, I guess I have to explain my own position for it to make sense. So, yeah, I appear to be just a woman, but that's not just my personal appearance. I'm actually, a computer program. So when I say I was, still am, really, in charge of security for the whole ship, I mean it. I was an actual official. I outranked pretty much everyone on the ship except for the Emperor and, of course, by extension, his primary wife. So while I might have reported directly to the Emperor in theory, and I did with others in the past, Emperor Ryu Ho chose to let that sort of thing go through his wife instead. What this is all getting at is, for all intents and purposes, she was my real mistress, not him. We were pretty close. Well, as close as you can be to your better, anyway. I liked her a lot. She was actually really intelligent for a woman and was surprisingly tough for a noble. Yeah, intelligent for a woman. Yeah, sure. Great. I know, that doesn't really sound attractive, but trust me, with her it was pretty okay. She managed to be great while still knowing her place. Well, shit. So, yeah, like I said, I liked her a lot. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. This is my point. I remember those admonitions because I actually helped her write them. I mean, I didn't write a single word or anything, but she asked me for advice. Mostly she was just modest. So let me see. I really want you to get the right impression of her, She kind of wrote a lot. Well, nobody's perfect. Don't let that cloud your judgment of her, though, alright? I mean, I'm not impressed either, but at least it means you'll be able to see what she was like. Alright, I've got 3 for you to see. Well, it's one of a kind, one's kind of actually about me, but still, it just shows you how good of a person she was. If you want to see the rest of the admonitions, let me know. I can do that too. Oh, interesting. And we've got some Okay, well, now on block 4. Okay, that's acceptable. So I guess in that case, I will ask her about this while we're at it. Right, so her admonitions then. Well, when your parents do find you a wife, your mother probably has a set of these prepared for her, assuming she knows how to write at least. Anyway, the point is, it's considered fairly typical for a new gentleman's bride to get a series of verses explaining what will be expected of them as a wife, as well as just friendly advice. Well, maybe the reason why these ones weren't written in verse is pretty simple, I guess. It's because the Queen Ryu Jihua, I have no idea how correct that is, had absolutely no ear for it. Honestly, personally, I think that's pretty endearing, but she was really worried about the pale bride, since she was a younger, prettier girl for her husband and all, so she just wanted to make a really strong impression. I suggested to her that she do what she was good at and just write them in prose, since if she was as uneducated as I thought she would be, and she was, it's not like she'd know any better anyway. Well, I guess that backfired a little bit since it turned out she was so uneducated that she didn't even actually know any letters. Whoops. Anyway, here, let me just give you a giant info dump and pass along all the admonitions to see for yourself. I do like info dumps, or something. Ooh, okay, that is a lot of text. Well, we unlocked this one first. Now let's go down in order. I guess we'll go down in order. Martial Admonitions Part 1 by Ryu Jihua. Written 1:30 of the year 321. To the woman who will marry my husband. As you are doubtlessly aware, it is traditional for a noble man's mother to write poetic admonitions to be sent to the bride-to-be before she enters the family, explaining the circumstances and proffering advice to her. Sadly, your mother-in-law is long since departed, leaving the responsibility in my hands. I've never had any such letters sent to me, for reasons which I'll explain soon enough, and I have furthermore studied verse only enough to know that I am unable to write it well. I hope you will do not think any less of me, young pale bride. That was weird. It wasn't scrolling for a moment there. Can I not? No, that's weird. Sorry. I hope you do not think less of me, young pale bride, for addressing these letters in plain speech instead. Rather, pay attention to my words over my form, and please do not be hasty in erasing these letters after reading, for your own sake. I hope you will find the advice and knowledge I will impart on you useful. Mute? Thoughts? Yeah, like I said, I suggested she just write them in straight prose. As for the reason why she didn't get anything for her own mother-in-law, well, that's pretty complicated. There were some family issues in there. You'll see what I mean if you read on. Okay. Well, family issues seems to be the name of the game in this, game. But marital. Duh. I don't know why I kept reading that as the various things that I've read that as, but it is marital. I can read eventually. Maybe I'm more tired than I thought. Or maybe I don't really have an excuse. Written by Liu Zhehua. Written in 1:30 of the year 321. To the woman who will marry my husband. As you are no doubt aware, the Liu family has an extremely long and proud history. Every man to hold the title captain and emperor has always been of our house, and you are here to make sure that continues for another generation. The name goes all the way back to the ancient times. Mythology speaks of a Captain Ryu who had control of even the ship's movement to the stars themselves. Such things remain far removed from everyday life, but it is important to understand the significance of the house, and of the title that your first son will eventually come to inherit. First son, huh? Well, if that sounds a little simplistic, if that sounds like some kind of simplistic explanation, and you have to understand, it's not really like anyone had the frame of reference to get space travel. Even I only sort of barely understood it, and I'm the ship's computer. That's scary. Ugh. Imagine what it must be like for some barely educated woman in a society that doesn't really understand technology, having only ever lived inside the ship. So her description of the captain and emperor's role is, well, it's a little mythologizing, okay? But it's pretty much accurate, right? No, I don't actually know enough about how space travel works in this universe to be able to answer that question. But anyway, Marital Admonitions Part 3, Ryu Jehua. Written 1:30 of the year 321. To the woman who will marry my husband. It is an obvious matter that I do have the same family name as my husband. The official story, if you have not already heard, is that we are cousins, making our marriage improper and less than ideal, but somewhat acceptable given the circumstances. At the time, there was no noble daughters who had not already been promised or given away in marriage, and obviously a girl of any lesser upbringing could not possibly be suitable as a queen. Hence, cousins would simply have to do. Strictly speaking, this is all true. The part about there not being any noble daughters available is not a misrepresentation, and as far as any official genealogy is concerned, the emperor is the son of my father's brother. The part which you may not speak of openly is that he is the old emperor's son only by adoption. As far as blood goes, my husband is also my brother. As children, we never lived together, and it would, of course, have been strictly improper to have spent any time together at that age. Interesting. I would never say anything such as that to my husband. I would never say anything such as that my husband actually arranged for there to be no noble daughters to marry, out of his desire to marry me. That would, of course, be a rather bold move to accuse an emperor of such. But you may wish to consider that the implications might be such if a thing truly did happen. I leave it to you to decide whether or not such a thing is plausible. All I will say is that despite our marriage being one of necessity, my husband has always been very fond of me. Interesting. I actually don't remember these at all. Yeah, that's... Okay, what she's suggesting, that is gross and wrong and definitely, well, I don't think a bold move even begins to cover what she's saying. I feel bad saying this. I liked her. We were close. She was a good woman, but my real master was the emperor, and it would be a disservice to give her a pass on this. She was way over the line here. I think it's damned irresponsible of her to even consider telling the pale bride that. Why would she even need to know? Anyway, I don't even buy the implication. I don't think it's even true. I don't know if you've noticed, but the Menghua's birth rates are, well, it's not good. They had been bad for generations, but they were just getting worse and worse. Among noble families, there wasn't even a replacement rate anymore. Yeah, that's very bad, actually. I have no idea why. Nobody really ever wanted to acknowledge it. So what I'm saying is, even ignoring the fact that he wanted and her suggestion is just wrong, I don't think the Emperor would have had to contrive it so that there wouldn't be any noble daughters of proper age. The simple fact of the matter is, that sort of incest ended up being necessary and apparently didn't help, since even she couldn't deliver a son anyway. No awful or inappropriate theories are necessary. Interesting. The fact that nobles weren't even replacing themselves, and there's no idea why. My guess, and this is just a guess, is that it's somewhat related to either illness or disease or already inbreeding, declining birth rates in relation to rules about number of children, stuff like that. But I'm not sure. To be perfectly honest, I don't actually know if it was covered in this visual novel or not, but, well, it's just an opinion. Marital Admonitions Part 4, Ryu Jie Hua, written 130 of the year 321. To the woman who will marry my husband, as for responsibilities, your burden will be quite light. You will, of course, be expected to be the model of feminine virtue, but truthfully, I do not expect you will have very much trouble with this. So long as you keep your head down, avoid scandal, and keep quiet, that will more than suffice. As far as the day-to-day is concerned, you will have nothing to concern yourself with, as this is the royal family you are marrying into. As queen, I run the management of the house's affairs, and will not require assistance from you in that regard. As a part of royal concubine's demonstration of modesty, you will have to share my own personal servant, and will not have one of your own, while you will not have to be responsible for all housework. Be modest, and do not remain idle at her expense. You are expected to be as unseen as the servant, and to be voiceful only in the most moderation. Do not speak harshly to your servant, and be appreciative of what she does, not incompassionate. Your one sole responsibility will be spending as much time with the Emperor as it takes to produce a son. After you give birth, you will not need to worry about raising him. I will be there to make sure that all is arranged for. Simply make our husband happy, keep out of sight, and give him a son. You will have no more to worry yourself with. Well, that's a thing, I guess. Well, I guess I'll grant the pale bride one thing. You never had to worry about her speaking out of turn. Really, at the time, she seemed like the perfectly virtuous wife, right up until she snapped at the end. I know, how do you even reconcile that, right? How can someone seem so close to the pinnacle of feminine virtue then turn out to be so completely messed up? I still don't get it, not even slightly. Well, I think we'll probably have to talk to Hyunai for that one. Let's see what's the length on this episode. I'll probably be able to finish these off. Marital Admonitions Part 5, Ryu Jie Hua, written 130 year 321. To the woman who will marry my husband. The virtues which you are expected to demonstrate are simply those expected of any woman, and given your noble upbringing, I will not condescend to treat you as if you do not already know them quite well. You are expected to be quiet and obedient to me, as well as obviously to our husband. Perchance you are scolded. Trust my judgment as your elder. I will never act out of anger or spite. If scolded by our husband, always respond with a smile, for your relationship with him must always be warm, and he is a wise man. I do not, however, anticipate such things will be a problem. He told me of the interview in which he spoke to you, and had nothing to report at all on your manner of speech, so I trust it was entirely proper and polite. In light of that, I will say nothing further on the matter. As far as ritual obligations go, you have none save for following my lead. Both your mother and father-in-law are long dead, so you have no further obligations to them. I had trouble adjusting at first, but I anticipate nothing you could be surprised by. Okay. Again, mentioning the speech thing. Interesting. Yeah, it's more talking about talking. Yeah, okay. Same as the last one. Fair enough. It's a very similar sort of thing. Marital Admonitions Part 6, Ryu Jie Hua, written 130 of the year 321, yeah. To the woman who will marry my husband. I will not tell you to avoid politics entirely, so long as you do not cause trouble, but I will suggest you simply watch from a distance. The temptation may exist to meddle, especially if you are ever to talk to the artificial girl, Mute, who lives inside our computer. She is a gossip and a friend of the Smith noble family, and is responsible for revealing much of what they try to keep hidden. She may seem fickle, but she does belong to the House Ryu first and foremost, and is quite loyal. Nevertheless, meddling is not in your best interests. Do not play politics, not only for our sake, or for the sake of being a virtuous wife, but for the sake of your own family as well. They will receive favor not through any scheming of your own, but through our husband's will. Entertain yourself with gossip if you wish, so long as you keep quiet about it, but stay out of politics. In the end, you will manage to go much further if you rely only on rewards for being a good wife. Mute, thoughts? She's right on what she instructed the Pale Bride, but man, I don't really agree with her assertion there. I wasn't a gossip. Look, yeah, I'm a social creature, of course. That's my job. I'm glad that my mistress valued me, but I don't really like the way she's characterizing me as just being some chattery, gossiping woman. It was always better than that. I wish she'd have realized it. Mute doesn't like being called a gossip, even though she very much seems like a gossip to me. But anyway, the final one of this block, let's read The Pale Bride's Marriage by Liu Zhehua, written 3/13 of the year 321. My fear of the Pale Bride, it seems, was unfounded. In my letters to her, I wrote that I was not jealous. A lie, of course. As queen, it is true that I have authority over any of my husband's other wives, but that authority does certainly not extend to his affections, especially since she is a beautiful woman of only 15 years, and I am a withered old lady 24 years her senior. I would be a fool not to be jealous. Was that 39? Yeah, 24 plus 15 is 39, yeah. So she's 39. She's not that old. She's firmly middle-aged at 39, but still, that old. And yet, I am not. Until she officially married my husband, I had only seen her briefly at the formal interview. Aside from her beauty, she had hardly made any impression. But now she is living in my house, and I have seen more of her while she is not busy attending to the Emperor. I realize now I have no cause for jealousy that is any fault of hers. She hasn't spoken a single word to me, and only looks at me from a distance. At first, I mistook this as arrogance, as though she thought me unworthy of approaching. I realized soon that is not so. I see no smugness in her eyes, nor do I see happiness, nor sadness, nor anything else. She is afraid of me. Not the sort of fear that would show in her eyes, the sort of fear that would paralyze or leave her on edge. It is hardly noticeable at all, and yet I can tell. Her fear is that of resignation, the sort of fear where one simply waits for what one believes inevitable. Whether it is that she thinks I will do to her. She is not afraid that I will be jealous. She knows it, and is simply waiting for the consequences. I cannot be jealous of a woman like that. I feel for her. I want her to feel welcome. I want to give her the hope she has clearly lost back. It is not out of jealousy that I say I earnestly want her to understand how lucky she is. When I last saw her, I took her aside and said, "Please, you do not have to fear me. If you ever wish to talk to me, please do find me." She said nothing, but she did smile a little. I have seen her smile before, but only in a hollow way, where the mouth moves but no emotion stirs in her eyes. This was not that kind. I can hardly say what the twinkle in her eyes meant, but at least I don't think it was resignation. I do hope she talks to me soon, for her own sake. More about the no-talking thing. Very interesting. She was kind of more than just my queen. Well, I guess I have to explain my own. This is a thing you've already talked about. Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, I want to show these to Hyunai, of course, but we did. Yeah, this is long. We did get another log in a different block, in block 4, and well, I want to show it to Mute first before I pop over to Hyunai. So depending, we will either get a few more logs from Mute and keep reading through those, or we pop back over to Hyunai and show her the marital admonitions. Either way, I expect it to be quite interesting, and I hope to see you all there.